I miss him. You know, he was a wonderful stepdad. He raised me. I called him Dad growing up. He walked me down the aisle multiple times, but he walked me down the aisle. Like he's everything. And it was pain and pride. And no, there wasn't any pride. It was a lot of pain that got in between him and I, and that had to do with my mom's death. They were together 20 years. So I never made it to Portland. I never made it to Portland. I know. I did a whole episode on it. I get it. All right, I get it. And I was devastated by it. It actually, today, I am filming this on January 5th. Just so you know, I know it's a few weeks after that, but it took me a week to really decompress from the trauma that I just went through. Yeah. So let's get into it. LUMUB with Christy Chanelle. I would like to add that if you're interested in seeing the visuals that go along with this episode, please click the link in the show notes. It will take you right to my YouTube page. Hit the subscribe and follow along, and you'll be able to see like the beautiful mountains and everything that we're going through, and the visibility that was basically zero on the trip. Yeah, so there's some really cool footage on there that I will edit into this episode. So you might want to hit stop right here and go watch it on YouTube. So the trip was supposed to be started on December 24th. I will read you some text messages that were happening before I even left between my stepdad and I. So I think that this is relevant in the story of the I told you so part of this whole thing. So I'm going to take you through the entire timeline in the way that it happened. All right. So let's start with the text messages. Okay, we are starting on Sunday, December 22nd. Now, keep in mind, my road trip was planned for December 24th, Christmas Eve. So this was Sunday, December 22nd. My stepdad sends me a text message. He says, I am very concerned about you driving all the way. I looked up flights, and you would save hundreds of dollars if you flew. Hotels, gas, and a rental car is going to be way more. Consider it carefully. You could get stuck in a snow event this time of year. Okay. And here's my response. I think we'll be fine. We are leaving at around 3 or 4 on Tuesday. We are driving 6 hours, got a hotel in Dumas, Texas. I will be smart about everything. 10 hours max of driving a day. Watching the weather. My thought process in that text message was, although he raised me for 20 years, I did not want to impose on any holiday thing he had going with his wife and her kids. You know, I am essentially a foreigner at this point. It's been 14 years, and I know that. That's why I booked a beautiful place for me and the kids to stay at for the whole time that we're there, with a fridge. I didn't want to impose. I had a rental car for the entire time I was there. He told me to exchange that and to take it back on the day that we arrived, to not spend more money. He's going to get a big car to take us all out. Cancel my hotel there. There's no need for that. Stay at his house. What's the point of coming if you're not here? And you know what I mean? And so I was feeling really good about that. I'm like, he's opening himself up to me again, which is the whole point. Back to the text. The text is basically saying, I don't want to impede on your stuff, while the whole time feeling like I want him to say it doesn't matter when you come. Like I just wanted him to say that. That's not fair of me to assume that he's a freaking mind reader and knew what I wanted him to say, but I was looking for that. Remember, the last question I asked him was, what time does that end on Christmas? Okay, so I want to come after your event with your family. He said about 10 p.m. or later. Why don't you fly here the same day Austin and Hannah arrive here, which is Friday, the 30th, or the day before, 12/26? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, I want my vacation to start freaking right now. I want to use every day of PTO for adventure. I want to have a good time. I want a road trip. So My mind was made. Once he said, come the day they come or the day before, I was done. I was like, no, I'm going back to my road trip thing. Okay, that was my mentality, right or wrong. That's how I was feeling. And maybe a little bit hurt, like he didn't say what I wanted him to say. But again, he's not a mind reader. And I didn't open up about that, even though it was probably, I don't know. I get weirded out. I don't want to impede on anybody's family time, even though I am fucking family. You know, it's that debate inside, internal debate. Okay, I will put some more thought behind it. And I did. Not a lot, but I did. So then the next day, Monday the 23rd, at around 1:35, I send him a text that says, we are driving, with a heart emoji. Like, I'm doing it. He sends me a storm train brings snow, flood threat to the west. All right, so this is a parade of storms that is heading through the east, through the U.S. And he says, I hope you don't regret your decision. Warning me. And I'm like, I'm getting annoyed in my mind. I'm getting annoyed. Like, I'm an adult. I can make my adult decisions. Thanks, but no thanks. I got this. Did I say it? No, absolutely not. But I thought it. I absolutely thought it. I'm like, I got this. You need to trust me. I'm older now. Keep in mind, he's raised me since I was 5 years old. And it's a little of that daddy-daughter pull. Like, I'm an adult. You know, it's been 14 years. I've grown up. And him wanting to protect me. Like, this was all out of love. And I'm like, no, I got this. So I don't respond to that. And then December 24th, the day that I'm leaving, I start to share my location with him. And he sends me the track weather on your route app. So I can type in where I'm going, where I'm coming from, and it's going to show me the weather all the way up. And I'm like, cool. That means I can avoid any issues. So I download the app, pay the fee for the month, and I respond to him and say, we're going through Amarillo, Colorado, and Utah. We go to drop off Bailey, which was traumatic enough. I was just stressed out about that. We drop off Bales. All right, so first leg of our trip, it's raining, it's downpour, and I have to drop my beautiful puppy.
Oh, Bailey!
I have to drop off Bailey at the boarding, and I am like not looking forward to this at all. All right, here we go. Okay, so we just dropped off Bailey. That was rough. Now we are going to go home, get an Uber to the rental car, and pick that up. We go get the rental car, which I'm loving. All right, we got the rental car. Jeep Grand Cherokee. So cute. Burgundy. Like, it's like meant for me. And I'm like, okay, now we have a tank. I'm feeling even better about my trip. We got it from Budget. So when we're at Budget, I'm like, I just want to make sure the tires are good for this trip. Everything is set. But I have seat warmers. Like, I mean, that was like obviously a big deal. My back's got some issues. I am, 51. My back's got some issues. So I need a little heat if I'm driving that far because it automatically makes me feel better. It makes me feel better. So it did have seat warmers, even better than ones I have. So I was stoked about that. Just love the vehicle. It was just everything. I loved it. Oh, like that. Okay. Okay, hold on. Put these in the back seat. You got everything? Okay. Now that I'm soaking wet. So then we get the vehicle, we pack it up with our suitcases. It is torrential downpour. Like, it is raining so hard. If that's not a sign the universe is like, you better rethink your decision, ma'am. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. So Trevor and I get into the vehicle. He's loving it. He's loving everything about it. And I'm like, this is going to be the best trip ever. We get in the car. We head over to my dad's house for a Christmas Eve dinner with my brother and sister-in-law. And it's great. We hang out, we talk, and I tell them I'm a little worried about the storm, and they seem to be like, you're fine, stay on the highway. So I was like, see, validation, obviously validation. Yeah, that's not what that was. That was, you got this. You're independent. You're good. All right. We get ready to leave. We go, John, my brother John comes out and he's like, okay, this is good. You've got snow, you've got mud, you've got incline, you've got everything you need on this vehicle. It's automatic too. So as long as it's set to automatic, you should be fine if there's snow, which that gave me a lot of reassurance. I'm like, that's right. I got a freaking tank. I'm good. Our first stop is in Amarillo. It's getting a little colder in Amarillo, but God, the drive was it was so, so good. I don't know that I've ever felt so alive. It was so good. And I was with Trev and he was enjoying it. And it was a really good first 24 hours. I had booked all the hotels along the way to know that these are my stopping points because I need to make it in this amount of time. So we get to Homewood Suites, and it's Christmas Eve that we get there. We all went to bed, which I could hardly sleep. I could hardly sleep at all. I was a little wired, just thinking about the next day, and we're on a trip, and I couldn't sleep. It's like Christmas Eve, like when Santa's coming, I couldn't sleep. So Trevor was a little bit upset that he wasn't able to have his Christmas morning tradition, which is they all wake up together. They've got stockings. I'm a big stocking stuffer girl. And just the whole Christmas morning that everybody loves so much. And I took that away this year because they weren't even going to be here anyway. They were going to be in Florida. And I just took it away. So I made sure to pack a stocking and candy and stuff to put in the stocking. And then when I woke him up on Christmas morning, I had the stocking on top of the toilet. I know, okay, maybe not the grandest appearance of his stocking, but I knew he was going to get up and go to the bathroom first, and I wanted to surprise him. So to that, and he was, and I have it on videotape, so listen to this.
Merry Christmas. This is day 5 of me being sick and day 2 of my road trip to Portland. I didn't sleep at all, and this is one of the longer legs of the trip. Trev needs to get up. Merry Christmas, Trevor. Did you think I forgot you? I didn't forget you. I wanted you to have something to wake up to. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, he warmed my heart. He warmed my heart. So I'm glad I was able to hide that in the suitcase for him. So then we packed up. We went downstairs. We had the most amazing breakfast. I have some footage on that. And you can see that they had these Texas. You made your own waffles, and they were in the shape of Texas. And it was so cute. So I got a little bit of that. And Trev made his own waffle. And I had my coffee. And it was just a beautiful Christmas morning. It really, really was. And we were happy. And then we took off for our first big leg of the trip, which was 10 hours. We had just driven 6, but now we're driving 10. And on the next, so now we're talking Christmas Day. On the next leg of the trip, it was getting a little more complicated. I would say I was more aware of the storm that could be coming. Temperatures were dropping. I was looking at the weather app that my stepdad had sent me, and I could see that we had some ice and hazards really coming our way. And as we're driving in the 10 hours, towards the more end of the 10 hours, the snow starts the ice in the snow. I could see the ice on the ground, and I still wasn't worried. I was raised in Jersey. Like, we know snow and we know ice, and that's how I learned to drive. I know how to drive in it. But I wasn't raised on a mountain. And I wasn't raised to drive at night on a mountain with ice. Like, that's not part of my driving training. I know nothing about it, as a matter of fact. But a straight way, freeway, all that. Come on. Got that. Not a problem. And as long as we were staying on that path, greatness. I was good to go. I don't think I got nervous until we did start to go on a mountain. And I realized this is terrifying, okay? Because the sun was starting to set and the snow was starting to happen. And I was like, this is not where I need to be right now. I do not need to be on a mountain at night with snow and ice. So I just started to feel anxiety rise big time. And it was scary. So I realized I am stopping in this. We're going to make it to the destination where I have us going. As long as this is the only mountain, we're good. My problem is I didn't know when the mountains were going to appear. I didn't know where I had to be to not be in the mountains. I just didn't. And that's on me, I guess. I don't know if there's an app that says mountains. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. This is a rookie mistake. I get it. But I started realizing it was a mistake when I had to go through it. Still, we made it to our destination. We got there. Didn't love this destination at all. I did not like it at all. Rock Springs. Rock Springs was kind of terrifying. I didn't love the hotel. It was not like the first hotel we had stayed in. It felt weird. It didn't feel good. Our window looked over the back of the Walmart, literally the back where the dumpster's at, and I was just very uncomfortable. It was freezing. It was cold. Of course, I turned the heat on, yes, but I couldn't sleep because I was nervous in this place. And I'm not saying it's a bad area. I don't think it is a bad area. I just didn't like where we were staying, and maybe it was just because my anxiety was already high. I mean, it could have been a multitude of things, but any way you look at it, I could not sleep. And the biggest reason I couldn't sleep was because I knew we were driving right into a storm. I knew it. I started to panic. I'm looking at that weather app that my stepdad sent me, and I'm like, how can I get around these hazard little signs that are all through the area we're about to hit?
So instead of going down to Utah, we're going up and over. We're going to hit snow. So there's 2 hazard areas instead of 4. So obviously a safer route. I only slept an hour. So I'm running really in 2 days. I've probably had 4 hours of sleep. So we've added 3 more hours to our travels. So today's going to be a long day. I'm still sick. Not as sick. I feel like I think I'm better than I was yesterday. My voice is just whacked. I will go live today on the road, but my camera will be facing forward, towards the street, not at me, or I'll get a violation. So hopefully I'll see you on live. Okay. Love you, Mish. Bye.
I knew we had to leave this hotel before 9 o'clock because that's when the storm started in Rock Springs. So I felt like I had a window and that we had to keep going and going as fast as we can to get out of the mountains. And so I'm not in the mountains when this storm is hitting and it's not nighttime. So I've got a lot of anxiety. I've slept probably in the 2 nights thus far 4 hours. So now you have somebody that is anxiety-ridden, no sleep, and just terrified that we're driving into a storm.